What's going on, everybody? MPG Poppy here. This is Listen for Commands. A little bit about me. I'm the owner of one of the nation's largest powerlifting gyms, MPG Fitness. I'm on a mission to mainstream powerlifting.
There we go.
What's up? We got Gino in the chat. What's up, Gino?
We got Cheeto in the chat. Let's go, dude. The one and only.
Yeah, legendary. Oh God, I wonder. God, what a life. He's got some crazy stories.
Hold on. Can we kick off with my favorite Gino story?
Sure.
Okay, so as you know, Dennis Brady had been on kind of this hiatus / retirement from directing meets from like the mid 2000s up into the mid 20 teens. So the first meet that he did when he came back to the USAPL, I think this was either 2014 or 2015, was a women's only meet, and it filled up super fast. It was the crowd was unbelievable. I'll have to send you the picture, but you know that entire basement space was wall to wall filled with people. It was awesome. And by chance, Gino happened to be in town that weekend and came and announced. And awesome, of course. But it was more an exchange that happened afterwards on Facebook, and there was, of course, he was in the background of a lot of these pictures that women had posted from the competition. So there was one reason in the background of one of the women deadlifting, and a friend of hers had commented as a joke, and goes, "Oh, hey, is that Ron Jeremy in the background?" And so then Gino responds to that by saying, "No, here's a picture of me and Ron Jeremy together for clarification." And sure enough,
I heard the story. Maybe you had to tell it to me. It had to be you. Wow.
and you talk just a guy that has really lived life to the fullest in all kinds of
Yeah.
ways.
God. He was so the story goes he worked for um Post, and so whoever does like Lucky Charms. And so he was the handler for like the mascots for all the different cereal brands. Like that was his job. And you're like, oh, everything made so much sense.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, good. Yeah, these are like that's good like 2019's era stuff. Because I think people are really I've based on the topic we had, a lot of people are like still think we're in that era, right? That I would consider the peak era when, Nationals and Lombard with, 1,400 lifters. Like,
Mhm.
people still think we're in that era, and we're just not. We're in like I don't know if it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying something to just notice. It's just like we're not in an era where everyone is jumping in, right? We're kind of in like a cooling off period where I think the people who are at the top talent has kind of solidified, and they're sticking with it because they can be competitive. But I think a lot of people who had aspirations kind of got hit with reality. They're not going to be a world champion, and maybe washed out. I don't know. But yeah, the basement of B&W. It didn't matter where you had to meet. It would be full. It would be full,
It would
right?
be full, and it was
Yeah.
that was again. It's at different times, and that's sort of for the longest time the sport was very DIY, right? Okay, you're doing it in the basement with that's exposed asbestos up there. Fine,
Yes.
roll with it, right?
Right.
And now and this is I think maybe to roll in now, like into Sheffield now. I mean, Sheffield has really set the standard for what like a really big meet, what a spectacle as far as powerlifting should be. So.
Yeah, that's interesting because these eras actually overlap. There's a big overlap between. I mean, the first Sheffield was announced in 2020, so like
Mhm.
Sheffield 2020. I mean, without COVID, would have happened in 2020,
Mhm.
and that would have overlapped people in Dennis Brady's basement like that.
Mhm.
These eras would have gone on top of each other. So yeah, you're right. Right. I get what you were saying, where you're like, yeah, but now see where things are.
Mhm.
But again, my concern and what I brought up is I think things have stagnated, and actually found something interesting today I didn't even realize. That's very interesting. So I thought we'd kick it off with Sheffield's of past. kind of going through. This is now going to be the fourth iteration of Sheffield. Um, so it's I thought we talked about the first. So the first Sheffield was scheduled to happen in 2020.
Mhm.
Didn't happen because of COVID. Obviously, there's no way they were going to take extraordinary measures to make this happen. It was already a risk to begin with for them, so they weren't gonna like try to set up an island like the UFC, right? Like just like none of that was gonna happen. So
The
they took
the
their
means are not there to make that happen. No.
yeah, right. And also, I mean, can you imagine how bad Europe was? I mean, oh my gosh, could you imagine trying to do something like this? Couldn't even imagine. Okay, so the first one, I'm just gonna read the blurb. Um, the Sheffield 2023 Powerlifting Championship is the first annual classic powerlifting competition that took place on March 25th. Interesting timing. At Sheffield City Hall. The competition hosted by SBD in participation with the IPF. The competition consisted of 12 male and female athletes, as it still does. And Sheffield 23 held the largest prize fund in powerlifting history, funding £365,000 to the lifters. So, what's here's what's interesting. I'm going to talk about the prize fund real quick. The £365,000 be given away to the athletes. Any world record broken in the event will receive £5,000. That hasn't changed. It's still £5,000. However, there was a maximum payout of £40,000, which is, I think, what brought the prize pool down. The prize pool has not, I thought the prize pool went up. The prize pool has not changed since the original. The only item that has changed is the max payout is now $45,000. And that's theoretically if you broke the squat, bench, deadlift world record and the total world record and got first, you would take home $45,000. So there was somewhat of a cap that is no longer there. So the total prize fund has not increased
Mhm.
over each event. I have heard rumblings. This was from a pretty good source that initially SBD wanted this event to be part of the Arnold, and
Oh,
Larry Maley and the USAPL got into a pissing contest because SBD wanted to run this. They're putting up the money. They wanted to run it. They want to make sure it's run the right way. Given federations' past reputations, makes sense. I think being that there isn't a coincidence that the most successful meet is also the only meet that's not run by a federation. Is that a coincidence?
just perhaps, perhaps.
like I really think of federations like I
Perhaps.
think of like the government. Like if we need something done, let's get the government to do it. It's like why like I like that's how I feel about any federation. It's like and whenever you give an idea to someone in the federation, they go, "Oh, we got to check what the board thinks," and the board is like 12 old white people, and it's like no wonder it's like Congress. It's like going to Congress. Um,
Well, it's very well, like we talked about. There was for the longest time, I mean, most of the sport's existence, it was kind of, I mean, it was status quo for essentially 40 years, right? And so now, okay, maybe things are it's time for things to change. We've talked about this in the past. We don't need to harp on that too much.
yeah. What did you cut out?
Oh, I
Oh,
don't think
you
I'm still
finished
here.
with you didn't need to
No,
harp on
that
that
was
so
it.
much.
No, that was
Yeah, okay, you don't want to.
no, that's
Yeah,
complete
so
thought. No.
yeah, that's interesting with it being. Is like is it stagnant or is it the nature of? You've been along around longer than I have. Like it, there was some like did the movement was there movement? I mean, there was movement in the 2010s. Like there were positive effects taking place then.
I mean, is it not is it the same in other sports though? I mean, you have waves, right? Of I I don't know. It feels like this has happened in other sports, but there definitely has been in powerlifting to where, and part of that might be like we've talked about. It's so dependent on the individuals, right? It's a little easier when there's teams and it's you're piecing together a whole group of people. It's easier to kind of say sustain the action or sustain the success of a franchise or a team over a long period. But it's a lot harder when it's individuals in a sport. So yeah, there's been waves, especially even if we just focus on, let's just say, raw powerlifting, because it hasn't been around for as long, right? So if you go back to like the mid two
Right.
thousands with the first wave, yeah, there were a lot of guys coming out of equipped, namely multiply powerlifting, a lot of big names that came up, and there were some smaller pro meets, nowhere near as much cash as is offered at Sheffield, but you had some bigger raw meets that brought in some good talent, and then a lot of those guys, because they already had a long competitive career, they were sort of in the twilight of their lifting career to begin with, so they weren't around very long in the raw scene. But then you had the first big wave, which was the Lily Bridges, George Lehman, Pete Rubish, Dan Green, like that first big wave that really blew up on the
And
untested side of raw
and that
lifting.
coincided with social media. I mean, you watch
Yes.
the
Yep.
backyard meet of the century, right? That's the
Yes.
most
Yep.
famous,
Mhm.
the backyard meet of the century, and you have like I remember watching that and go, "Oh my gosh, this guy is the strongest guy." And then the next guy would come out, and I'd be like, "There's someone stronger," and they would keep going, and then Rubish comes out and pulls like 800. You're like, oh my
Yep.
gosh, like you didn't know this, like you didn't know the levels that existed, and now I mean a lot
Mhm.
of that's commonplace. So I guess it's so amazing. It really is. It really is amazing when you look at how what such an exponential curve the talent has been on. I would love to see a chart of that. I would love to see totals over time. Um, but yeah,
I
I mean,
think what's really crazy about that is, like you said, especially for raw numbers, the squats, especially the squats, and then the deadlifts were just in a totally different level. And you're like, man, that's crazy. Like, and also the fact that it was untested. And now with this current wave of people, like some of the numbers we're going to see at Sheffield, like these are numbers that like these the untested guys weren't even getting close to these numbers that they're going to hit
right.
at Sheffield under IPF conditions, right?
Yeah, there's lots of interesting points and questions. I think the women's side, obviously, the women get much more of a dramatic benefit from PEDs, so the spread is very
Right.
wide there. Um, but I think, with the exception of Jesus, I think there's still a wide. I mean, Hack is God. They thought was Hack going to hit 700 dots. So like Hack is there's quite a spread still there with untested. I think untested just
Mhm.
suffers from not having an IPF to kind of
Yeah,
unify
exactly.
everyone under,
Exactly. Yeah,
which
closest thing they've got is they've got abs, ABS.
yeah. No, and he kind of I think we all thought he had it when he was going to get Colton and Hack head to head, and then Colton, you know, babied out or whatever happened there. That was a very unfortunate situation. Um, but I think we thought maybe we were going to get some unification. I'm still bullish on them. I think they'll run over the untested side in due time. It's a lot of testing. You try one thing, you try another. The waves we talked
Wait.
about. There's peaks and valleys. You try one thing. Um, so Sheffield has worked. I think we're all curious. I'm curious the economics. Like I'm curious. What do they pay for the venue? Do they pay for the venue? Like, how many of the tickets are they actually selling? Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
I've always been so curious. I've done napkin math. They pay for all the athletes' travel. Um, they pay for a coach to travel. Like, that's got to be a 50, 60, $70,000 bill minimum.
Yeah, all together.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, altogether. Um, they're putting up. They end up paying out. I think last year they paid out just about 300,000. This year will be less. It's a great. I love this business model. Any business model where your expense can stay the same, and like your expense stays the same. So like the max amount you're going to spend stays the same, and then your mechanism is built based off records that are harder and harder and harder to achieve over time. So like your expenses go down over time as the event gets more popular. I mean, you've got a nice little your expenses, I assume, stay fixed or don't change much. So I really like that side of it. But
But that changes this year
what do you mean?
because assuming they're going to be paying more for a bigger venue.
That's interesting. I think that one, I don't think it's that much. I think there's a couple things that can go into this. One, I don't think it's that much more expensive, even despite how much bigger the venue is. I don't think it's that much more expensive, especially relative costs. Like if that theater is probably $10,000 plus expenses. So like it's $10,000 base rental, and then you got to pay for the staff, you got to pay a ticketing fee, you got to pay a lighting fee, you got to pay an AV fee. It's probably 25,000. So like for example, I was going to run the Illinois State Championship in the Salt Shed, which I thought would be really really cool.
Okay,
yeah, and so that was 25 grand.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I thought so.
What's the capacity of the Salt Shed?
It's seated 500, which is like actually just right perfect. But they also have an outdoor area that's really cool. Like that was the plan. The plan was to do vendors and stuff outside, do the event inside the Salt Shed. We would have to do a 1-day meet. We'd have to get at least 100 lifters, and they would have to be willing to pay $250 each.
Yeah.
And then I would massage it. If I didn't make money, it would be so cool. I wouldn't even care. But yeah, that was what I wanted to do. And then she like hits me with a random $45,000 food and beverage minimum. And I'm like, okay, like, what are we doing? Like, what are we talking about?
Not so much, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's because it was a private event and they have a contract with like Live Nation and Ticketmaster. It's unfortunate, but that just gives you context. It would be about 25,000, I'm guessing. So they move into this bigger arena. I'm guessing the rental fee isn't that much more because it's not necessarily easier to fill a larger venue. There's actually fewer events that can even like if your theater is 2,000, you can fill a whole bunch of events. But if your theater is 10,000 or if your arena is 10,000, there's only so many events that demand that many people show up. So I think that and that's a smaller expense. If you're spending $1 million on an event and then you got to spend 25 to 50K, I think you're all right. I think you're of course you're spending more money, but I think they're going to make that back in tickets. Yeah, I mean, there's I always go to the philosophy that, okay, if it costs this much to do something and that's all your cost, then your ticket price has to be more. You just have to, you pass the cost on the consumer, you try to build a business. And if demand isn't there, the demand isn't there. And you kind of go back to the drawing board. And that's where you're playing the game and you're trying to reassess, okay, what's what number of people are willing to come? What I thought they should have done is I thought they should have stayed in that venue and doubled the price. That's what they should have done. Yeah. I mean, tickets are cheap. Tickets are like 30 pounds, which is a little bit more than $30. Like I would have just made it 60, kept it exclusive. The VIP tickets are like 150, made those 300. Like find out where, like I think going to a bigger venue is a really big leap. I mean, I guess you got to find out, right? I think maybe you got to find out. Like I heard they're doing a half arena setup. We're going to find out very shortly. Like we'll find out this weekend. I'm sure. I'm sure they're going to announce it this week. I think they have to because it's November this year, so it's not that far away. So yeah, but I mean we're 10 months away from the next one. So
how much bigger is the new venue just in terms of capacity? How many more
14,000.
14,000 versus what is it currently?
2,200.
Oh, that's a big
yeah, but they can do different configurations. Sure. So like they can do a half arena setup. They can do you can do most of you can do 3/4 arena with one backdrop. How I've always envisioned it long term is I want no backdrop. I want the entire arena filled. I want it like UFC. I want the platform right in the middle of the arena. and I want the warm-up room open so it's like you can see everything. Like get partitioned off, obviously. But I've always felt like that's how powerlifting is supposed. It's supposed you're supposed to be the only
Yeah.
one, like you and the spotters, and then the entire arena, and then you have the scoreboard overhead, and the scoreboard's 360. Yeah, that's exactly how I'd want to do it. And then you got your VIPs who are kind of like right up along there. And I actually put the warm up area like back away, so you kind of had to walk. There was kind of like an entrance, and then like you could kind of have a bullpen type thing. But I mean that's like I think that's cinema. Like you get right next to the athletes, you get you get that full arena. There are smaller arenas too. I mean, I would be shooting for like maybe a 6,000-7,000 seat arena, like a women's basketball arena type thing, and just do the arena setup, but do it on a smaller scale. But I mean, there's only so many stadiums in Sheffield proper. Like there's not like there's only yeah. Actually, let me look up this. The Sheffield hockey. I actually drove by it when I was in Sheffield.
Sure, because like take your pick if you're in London or maybe even Manchester, but yeah, Sheffield not so much.
I don't think it makes financial sense for them to actually move it anywhere else in the UK. I think having it where their factory is, Utila Arena, I think is what it's called. Yeah, it's a nice. I mean, it's a nice arena. I think it's really. I mean, they had some. It looks like they got some skateboarding here. Yeah, this picture is not great. Oh, it is a half arena. It's not a full. It's not a full. That's interesting. Or is that partitioned off? Hold on.
Which one are you looking at?
Utila Arena in Sheffield.
Is that where it's going to be in November? Or
Yeah,
something different? Okay.
this is where the hockey team. Or I mean, I heard that through the grapevine. But yeah, I mean, it's a big step. Given how close everything is in Europe, I imagine they get to the ticket number they do. I think they're smart. They'll keep the ticket number low, or the price low. How you want to do ticketing in any sport is you classes and masses. So classes, VIP, full experience, food, drink, everything, super expensive, and it's kind of like how first class subsidizes economy, right? So you've got you those are the people you sell first. Those are the people who your sales reps have on call. You call those people. You call the brokers. You call the VIP people up. You get them. You sell them a package. You get that sold. That's number one. And then those packages also go to your like sponsors and stuff. And then the masses, you want to fill that arena. You want to get social proof that this thing's working. $20, get them in the door, maybe 50 for a nicer ticket, and just pack that thing. You're trying to advertise for your brand anyway. But yeah, that's going to give someone like me who's trying to do what I'm doing a glimpse into what the market actually looks like. Like what are people actually willing to pay? People, I mean, given these are like the best athletes in the sport. So
in terms of the future, so let's talk about the future a little bit then. So
okay.
then, especially at a place, so like you said, the part of the challenge for the athletes is the records have gotten higher, they've gotten harder to break, and that goes back to like we said, like we're sort of maybe at the peak, it might even be kind of at the back end of this current wave of this current generation of talent. So how do you keep it interesting then? Because it feels like at a certain point, like what happens if there's an SBD, or sorry, if there's a Sheffield that happens and nobody breaks any world records?
Well, it's still competitive. So like, I mean, I think that would actually benefit them because I think there's too much emphasis on world records. I think someone went, you know what people like to watch? They like to watch world records. And someone like me is like, no, I like to watch I like to watch one guy beat the other guy. Like I like to watch Justin Gaethje versus Patty Pimble. Like
Yeah, or even like I can give you like Formula One example, right? Like it's this is one of the best seasons in recent memory, 2025,
yeah, I don't
because it
want to
was
see
just
Max Verstappen solo a lap. Like
yes,
I
exactly. He's
like no one
yeah,
wants to see that. Like,
yeah,
no.
exactly. Yeah, same thing in 2021 when it was Max and Lewis. It's like okay, that's great that Lewis was tearing the rest of the field apart in the years prior. But that's what people wanted to watch was 2021 was head to head like that, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So
people want to watch tight competition. So, I mean, I think it's probably good if there's less emphasis on the records. Like, you don't, I mean, I go back to Austin this year where Jesus lost and he was the highlight of the event.
mhm.
Like, you don't want, so what that tells me is if the record is more important than winning, then the prize isn't good enough, right? So, like last year, Russ was the highlight of the event and took second. Like because it was redemption. Like redemption was taking second. And to be frank, he could not have done better. He could not. He physically could not have beaten Gel because Gel just had such an advantage because the 66 world record was so low. There was nothing Russ could have done. Russ was doomed from the beginning. So he did his best and then got credit for taking second, and like that didn't make sense for me. As a sports fan, I'm not a powerlifting fan first. I'm a sports fan first. So as a sports fan, that really didn't make much sense to me. Um, but yeah, to answer your question, if the I think that's better for them. If the record thing slows down and it becomes, hey, who's gonna win? It's a lot easier to follow too, rather than having to know all the world's records. You can follow who's your top. I think podiuming is the prize, right? It's just like F1. Like whoever you want to make the podium, that's who puts you in the winner. Um,
But then do they have to? So then, we already mentioned looking at the prize pools. They've been the same since the start of this competition. So then, does it really behoove them to try to bump up
no,
the
no,
places, or do you
the
keep it?
prize pool will remain the same and will not change until there's an active competitor. Why? Why would you? Why? Why would you
Well, no,
give
that's
out more? Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the
You're
question.
you're
Yeah.
you're not going to change until there's an active competitor.
Hmm.
There's no way. And so yeah, I mean that's it. I mean that's the bottom line. I mean there's no. I mean I hey, what I'm doing is about the closest. I mean, if you did what I'm doing, you could win about 8 grand, which would put you in the bottom 8 at Sheffield. So you'd make more money than the bottom 8 effectively, depending on how many records you could break. And most people aren't, like I said, aren't breaking records like they used to. Um, but I gotta imagine. I mean, we looked at the revenue numbers, so I don't know. I think there will always be a Sheffield. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think what they do is they'll just adjust. They'll move levers, right? So like, hey, revenues suck. Are we still gonna like? You're at the board meeting. Revenues suck. Revenues are down. Can we still afford to do this event? They go, yeah, we can still afford to do this event. We're just going to slash the prize pool. Like, no one else is offering a prize pool, so if you slash yours, it doesn't matter. As long as the athletes are getting flown out, they're still going to do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I mean there's always these people that think it's not gonna work. And it's like it's gonna work as long as they're willing to fund it. And also as long as there are no competitors taking their talent, like which there seem really not to be. Um
Mhm.
so yeah, I don't see it going anywhere. I don't see um I see them potentially being able to if they get someone who knows sports economics in there able to be like, hey, we got to raise these ticket prices. We got to adjust the ticket prices.
Mhm.
Like we got to make. Maybe they sell the stream eventually. I mean, that would be what I'm looking at. How different ways to monitor. They already do the merch great. The merch like that. That
Mhm.
they need more people working the fucking table. I wanted to buy a shirt, and there's like a line out the door, people trying to buy the shirt, which is awesome, but like get someone else to work the merch booth so I can buy one. Um, but yeah, like they do great on the merch. There's no food in that venue. I'm guessing they need to move to a bigger venue to get food in there. No one wants to eat food in England anyway. Uh, it's as bad as you think. Like
No, it is not. I've been there. I've been there. No,
it's really bad. Like
it is.
it's comical actually.
Even if you're prepared for it, it still hits you. It's
No,
unbelievable. Anyway,
I wasn't prepared for it. I thought people were overreacting. People always overreact. And yeah, no, it was bad. I ate a Portillo's beef sandwich when I got home, and I was crying. I was like, I had like tears in my eyes.
well, like
Um,
the same trip I made over there, we went over to France, and during the same stint, and the the pre-made wrapped sandwich that I bought from a food cart in front of the Louvre was 1,000 times better than anything I got at any restaurant in Austria.
I was in France this year too, and the ice cream cone I had was better than, and it's just amazing. But yeah,
Anyway,
again,
all right.
I mean, when they can figure out if they can move this event, that would be huge to get it into some different. I mean, that's ultimately what you want. Like I've obviously thought about long term what I want from product. Like I'd love to have like regular season meets in France, in England. Like have one of the regular season meets somewhere foreign. Like as part of a grander circuit. If you're doing meets every month, you can kind of do that. So something like that, I would love to see. I would love to see more variety. I mean, again, like I don't know what they think about. That's actually one of the difficult things is no one speaks publicly, so you really don't know what they're thinking about. You don't know what they're trying to do. They don't really have to, I guess, because no one else is trying to do anything, so there's no like counter. But like not really knowing what they're going to do kind of leaves all of us in the dark. But I'd love to. I mean, are you going to try and do more of these events? Like, what's the plan? Is it going to be this event forever? I mean, it's going to be this event until someone else tries to do something else. Like USAPL maybe tries and has a renaissance of some kind, um, which unlikely, based on who they just elected president. Yeah, it just I've gotten nothing out of. I interviewed the executive director on this show, and she had nothing to offer, nothing exciting. I don't know if she was prepared. Like that's what I was looking for. I was looking for. Are you going to give me something exciting? And I would love the same thing from this to make it part of this conversation. I'd love something from SBD and be like, what are we getting? I mean, okay, you're moving to a bigger venue. You've really given no details or no information, because they kind of have the sport in their clutches, and it's like to then not, and then also not want the responsibility of like communicating what the plans are. Like, how long have they been talking about this White House fight in the UFC?
Yeah.
We don't even have a date. We don't have a date for it. And they've been talking about it. Like, I think some better promotion, you like it or not, you're in charge of the sport now. Like at the highest level, like you're in charge. You need to take responsibility and like communicate with people. What are your plans? What are you going to do? Like, I guess they don't, there's no, this is my suggestion. They have no legal obligation to do this, but they should. I mean, they should be like, this is our future plan. This is what we want to do. Like some sort of a roadmap, 3-year roadmap. We're going to go into the bigger arena. We're going to do this, and then maybe we're going to do some more regional events. They may be just worried about their core business at this point.
Yeah,
So
especially if you're looking at the financial statements last week.
yeah,
Yeah.
So okay, so I think we need to talk business real quick. So like, if you have a low profit year, you spent a bunch of money, no big deal. If you have a high profit year, if you have a low profit year and revenue goes up, no big deal. You were reinvesting, expenses got up, whatever. You have a high profit year, revenues are going up, great. You're cooking with gas. Actually, I even look at that and go, you didn't reinvest enough. Why are you taking profits, right? You're an $18 million business. What do you need profits for? Profits are for when you sell. Like profits are for the private equity company to take once you sell it. There you go. And so revenues going down in a 16, $18 million company.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're a very small company. We grew 40% this year. If I went negative, I'd be on suicide watch. Like I'd be the closest bridge if revenue went down. Like you gotta like I don't know how that like I know how it happens, but like the economy is not in the shitter. Like it's not. It's like they're like everyone's still buying stuff. Like you gotta really like I'm really curious what I mean, I don't know all the nature of the business, but like
Mhm.
I'm really curious. Like, do you have any sort of hypothesis about why? Like, would you be okay with something like that? Like, I don't I don't know.
It is because it's there's ups and downs. I didn't look at any of the prior years to see what the growth is. Uh, I didn't dig much deeper into like the MD&A on the 2025 financial statements. I mean, something that was interesting though is that, and this is maybe a little bit of you know not how do I want to put this? It can be manipulated to look at a little bit better, but like revenue was down, but their EBITDA margin was up. So like that doesn't suck. So it's hard to say. So overall, like company seems fairly healthy. It's the real thing is like, can you stop the trend though? This is kind of what we talked about with powerlifting broadly, right? It's okay. There's been a little bit of a dip, but is that trend going to continue, or is it just kind of again like we've hit a little bit of a plateau maybe at the back end of there's current wave of popularity and talent, and it's just we just got to wait for it to tick back up a little bit.
Sorry. There's another section I didn't talk to. I have friends in other apparel areas of the sport, and their businesses are like massive, like growing at. I mean, Gym Reapers, uh, like all these companies are like they are not having at that size are not having huge down years.
Well then does that maybe answer the question? Is just they're just losing market share?
Well, I don't know about share is the wrong word. They're losing the market is disappearing. The market is
Well, wait, but if you
there are
said at the
fewer people
same
listening. There are fewer people buying stuff.
wait, but if you said the other apparel companies had still had good years, especially
Oh,
year over year, but SBD
no,
did
but
not.
those companies are less powerlifting specific. Those
Well, how
companies are
much?
more
Well,
general audience.
here's a question. I mean, how many people? I know plenty of people who do not compete in powerlifting that have SBD equipment.
You got to be really serious to get an SBD.
Oh,
You
not at
probably
all.
do, but
No, no, not at all. You're just there's plenty of people. There's plenty of people
no, I think
that
there
have
are,
SBD.
but it's not. It's not. You're right. There are people, but it's not a large amount of people, and especially in the circles where I'm trying to think. I can't think of one person at my gym who's not a powerlifter who's got like an SBD belt. I've heard from other people, so I'm not saying that's like
Mhm.
that's a good sample size, but like I'm trying to think of people who don't powerlift who've got that stuff. And I do hear other people say that, but if you're not a strongman, you're not a powerlifter, like you're not rocking any of that stuff.
I I have normie clients that have SBD
Well,
sleeves.
that's a different word. A client can be suggested by a trainer what to purchase.
Sure, and there's got to be plenty of that, right?
Yeah,
How many
I
competitive
think,
power lifters with again just normal people like people I work with, middle age, older adults. Hey, your knees are a little creaky, right? Because you're old and you got a lot of miles on them.
yeah, yeah.
Again, that's an easy. So again, it's because that not all nowhere near. It'd be interesting to see what the real breakdown is. I'm sure. I don't know if they have any real hard data on the demographics and who's buying what. That I don't know how they would track that, but certain.
I think it's powerlifting demographic. It's people who are 18 to 24 who are into like those are the people who are buying powerlifting equipment. And like though that's who the athletes they sponsor cater to. Like that's who they resonate with. Like those athletes don't resonate with you except for maybe Jesus. We all know Jesus isn't wearing it because it's his favorite. He's wearing it because he gets the bag. So I don't know if I'm taking him that seriously. Um, so like, and like the untested guys are wearing stuff that's branded to untested. Like untested people aren't maybe aside from the belts, they're wearing like lift large and they're wearing next level and they're wearing different like and I mean by the numbers by 16 million in revenue, you know that it's not a huge market share. So
Hard to say. I don't know if we can conclusively say what it is, but I want to go back to Sheffield because
No,
I
but
want to
it's fun
hear.
to speculate. Yeah, no,
Yes, it is
yeah,
fun to
it's fun to
it's
speculate.
fun to speculate, but we can speculate all we want. I want to get back to Sheffield because I want to hear some predictions.
Yeah. Prediction. So here's the thing. If you just listen to the first half of the show and we're like, no, we didn't get any actual preview of the. I'm like, that's because that's what this our show is about. The not powerlifting part of we're gonna throw some powerlifting in there, but the not powerlifting part of powerlifting because that's actually I think what matters. But right now in this, but let's go into some predictions. So
Lots of people are talking about the numbers and the people. We're here for the real stuff.
yes, right. So I'm gonna talk about it from a sports. No, like I do. I want the sport to be something where I can sit back and eat my popcorn and talk like a fan. I just can't yet. So I really would love to do that. But okay, so my thing is so. Oh yeah, let's talk like this because people in media and even SPD themselves, the way they are presenting this thing sucks. It sucks. They're not presenting it. They're going through these really weird. They they love the battles, and it pisses me the fuck off. Okay, the battle of the 93s doesn't exist. You know why? Because it's not a weight class meet. It's a world record meet. That 93s are competing against each other, but none of them can win. They can't win. We're talking about people who can't win. So the reason why like a cornerback wide receiver matchup matters and is something to talk about in a football context is because eventually that could have an effect on who's going to win the game because that's what matters. They're talking about this in the wrong context. If you want to talk about the 93s, talk about how chipping the world records could affect if one of them could podium, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hyping up a fake battle that doesn't matter the is
Yeah, if this were Worlds, it's a different story. But
that's
that's not
exactly right. Then
that's not this meeting. Yes,
in
yeah,
world,
yes.
and it's like if I'm going to hype up this event, which I'm spending all this money on, I want the best storylines. Okay, the storyline is okay. Okay, so like if I'm making storylines for any sort of sporting event, I'm talking about okay, who's gonna win, what struggles they're gonna face if they're gonna try and win. So like, right now, it's between Perk. Perk is the clear favorite to win,
Mm-hmm.
and the question is, can Anthony McNaughton do anything to catch him? Right? And Anthony's got a good background story, so you could talk to Anthony about his background story. The 105 world record is kind of low. You've also got like something with Keenan over there. Like if Anthony were to falter, the storyline is this, and it's always this. Okay, so Spencer just actually made something. We already know who's going to win, though, so they are trying to make it more interesting. Okay, so we all think the Seahawks are going to win on the Super Bowl, and crazier things have happened. Like anything can happen in sports. So again, you're right. That's a great point. They're trying to make it exactly. They're trying to make it more interesting than it is. So that's why you have to make it interesting as it is. So right now the question is, can Perk make a layup? Because actually, what's crazy is he really hasn't proven that he can make a layup. He didn't do it last Sheffield. He hasn't done anything since. He did break his own record at Avankis, which is a meaningless meet. Like, can he can he beat the demons in his head? Like that's the storyline. And like I'd be like, your Aaron Andrews is sitting in the interview and I would ask him, I go point blank, I'd be like, a lot of people don't think you can shine in the big moment. Can you shine in the big moment? That's the question I'm asking.
Yeah, is he gonna have like an Elway moment, right? It's like, all right, well, you're 0-3 going into this thing, man. Like, what are you gonna do now? You know? Yeah.
Yeah, is he gonna
Yeah.
choke again? And like the storyline is also, I know they don't want to talk outside of the event, but like in real sports, they also talk about how things are in context with the broader event. So like, for example, if he hits a subpar total here, Elliott Sykes is like right on his heels. Elliott could kind of end his career because no one in powerlifting, no one wants the second best person in the weight class. No one cares about the second best person in the weight class. His career, he's basically got a 2-year career, and he's done. His entire life is about powerlifting. He makes his money from powerlifting. He does not work another job, and that will all be gone if he doesn't perform.
And that's interesting. And that's the
Wow!
story, right? How about that? So
Wow!
it is. They just, yeah,
Do you like how I did that? You like how I did that?
yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
That's how in
that's
that
how much
fight,
I really got. Like,
yeah.
was I kind of a dick? Like that's edgy.
That's always how it is.
Stakes.
Like
Now
in
you've
this,
got stakes in the sport.
yes.
Now it
Like
matters.
that,
Now I'm like sitting at home, like, oh my god, is his career going to be over?
yeah.
Like,
That was it was a similar. We go back to Formula One. Just gotta love Formula One. Last year, that was the whole question: can Lando Norris get his head together to win this? Because he's got the best car, he's got more experience than his teammate, but can he just get his head together? And if he doesn't, if he gets beaten by Max Verstappen again, like what? Next year he's going to do. It's the same sort of thing, right? You need to make the storylines relevant, which they're not doing.
I think, while it may sound dramatic, I don't think I'm off base, and that's important. It has to
No,
be rooted in
no,
reality. I don't think I'm off base. If he underperforms, and then Elliott comes and eats his lunch, am I going to sponsor the guy who got? So Elliott's 19 years old. Like
mm-hmm.
like he's not coming back. Now you set up the redemption arc. If he does lose, now you set up a path for redemption, which was kind of the Atwood story, which he did. I mean, that was never going to happen. That was never.
It's not the same. Not the same. Yeah.
And then you set up a potential redemption story. Like, there are good storylines. And like that's a really, really good story. Like, they don't want to get into these kind of topics, but I would talk about Keenan Lee was born in Korea, and because of a very serious situation in Korea, he's not wearing a Korean singlet. So I would ask him, like, how does that make you feel? Like, you're not you're representing another country. Is like, what, like, how do you feel? Like, I don't know how to feel about that. I would that's why I would love to know. I'm like, how do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about, do you feel like America's your home? Like, do you feel like you would want to, you feel like if you had the choice, that would be the question. If you had the choice, would you represent America, or would you represent, and like, I think I'm trying to pretend like him, if I don't know him, but like his answer is probably like, no, I'm happy representing Korea, representing America. America's given me the opportunity. Korea didn't. Um, you know, I'm very like that. That's a great storyline. Um, Trying to go through all the others. Joe Bornstein continues to be on a tear. He can't really win, but like, can he continue to be dominant? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What does the future hold for him? Yeah, that's very interesting. You've got the Battle of the 93s, I think, is a stupid storyline. I think you talk about what's next for Russ. Like, that again, what's next for Russ? Like, can he stave off Will Ball? Like, is he going to be able to put up enough for total? And
like, he could win Sheffield but lose Nationals in a month.
Yeah, it'd be really hard for him to win Sheffield.
But hypothetically, like, that's not
Sure.
unrealistic, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if he was able to win Sheffield, he's going to put up such a total. I don't think Will Ball can carry. But yeah, I would be like, that would be interesting. I would obviously be talking about him making sure he's in the right Sheffield. Like, I would be making content. I would. He's great with that too. Yeah, he's great with that.
He's got the sense of humor for it. Yeah, roll with it.
You saw the video, right? Where he went to Sheffield, Alabama.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Same thing, right? Well, yeah.
I mean, he's great with that. He understands that. Like, he's going to be showing up in his outfit. It's going to be great. He's really good at that stuff. So I I'd be talking up that. That would be the storyline. Like, those are great. Everything else, sometimes you don't have room for everyone at the table.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, you kind of want to give background, but like that can be done through the broadcast. When this person comes up, you talk and introduce them. Like that I've really felt like that's always something that it hurts us not to have real powerlifting broadcasters, because they're not great at introducing the characters. Like you want to like, especially during openers. No one gives a fuck about an opener. Talk about them.
Yeah.
Talk about them. Like the only reason you should be talking about the actual lifting during an opener is if someone misses.
This is
Right?
like perfect opportunity for you think about, okay, you get a split screen going to where like, yeah, nothing's going to happen on the openers, right? And then that's where let's talk about everything else that's going on. Let's contextualize this.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
go. Let's do like a little interview with him,
Yes.
right? Yes.
You
Yeah.
get. Yeah. Right. Interview the coach. What's the game
Yes.
plan today? Stuff like that.
Yes.
Like that's when like if you were really articulating a broadcast, and this is what I want to get into. I don't know if I'm going to have time in 2026, but 2027 once I get more infrastructure built, I'll be spending more time on like actually like my plan is my role will be narrating the broadcast, will be finding the right people to do the broadcast for my events, like painting the picture, being in the production meeting, talking about how I want things to be, how the story to be told. Um, that's what they're missing. Like they need a person in media who's a storyteller. They need a producer. They need someone who's telling the story of this event. They don't need right now. They've got a bunch of tech people doing stuff, which is good in some ways. You need a storyteller. You need someone who's got a vision, who can articulate, who can be dramatic. Um, but yeah, those people exist, and those people are not. There's plenty of starving artists. So, um, but yeah, you've got a story, some of the story there. But yeah, that would be great. Inside of the openers, tell the story, what's going on, what's happening, and then you can introduce each of the athletes that way. Wait, let me see if I can find the full roster. We can just bang through this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, as far as the women go, okay, the women, it's actually really easy. Akita's not there. And like that's the lead story. The lead story is she's not there. And like we would know all the details in the real world. We would know all the details of why she isn't there. Apparently there's some back and forths. There's some different things. She doesn't want to show up to nationals, so she wanted to get dispensation because she's so far ahead of everyone. There's some other things that are being told that have been a little less covered. So yeah, very interesting. Um, that, but the main storyline is Tiff versus Heather, French
Mm-hmm.
versus American, little battle, little tribal battle going on. I love that. That would be the main storyline. I'd be talking up. I'd be chatting up. Um, I don't know why not. Sonita's probably going to try and squat. She's been a little inconsistent lately, but she's going to try and squat something like 700 plus. I would say that definitely. Um, they say there's going to be a battle of the 63s. This is worse than the battle of the 93s because none of them can win. So this is worse. Like this is way like in the 93s there is somewhat of an outside shot. Something's happened,
It could
but
happen.
but it's not going to happen on the women's side. It's going to be a battle of Tiffany Chapone versus Heather Connor, and that's all I would really pretty much talk about. Um,
So between the two of them, who's your money on?
Heather will kill me, so I'm not picking
Yeah,
against
you
Heather.
can't.
I don't want to. I don't want to rat in my DMs. Like I'm all right. Oh yeah, I got to go with USA. I mean, that's actually really stupid. Um, I think she's got her work cut out for her. Heather does. But yeah, I don't know. The French suck at selecting attempts. That's a huge advantage. God, you're just missing so much talent. Like you're missing. You don't have Jesus. I mean, that's something I would talk about. I'd be like, does
Yeah, why isn't Jesus here? Yeah.
the qualification? I mean, SPD chose Gustav Hedlund, the third, not even the third best. He's like the fifth best 93 over the strongest powerlifter alive. What is this event for? What are you trying to do? Like, what's the point of this event? Okay, like, what's the whole point? Heather's got it unless Team France finally fixes their attempt selection. I doubt it. The French really suck. Uh, in multiple ways. Okay, like, okay, so let's name the reason. Let's like name all the reasons you have this event. You have this event because you want to sell more equipment, right? You have this event because you want to promote the sport of powerlifting. Uh, any other reasons? Name some. Why do you have this event, right? You like clout, right? You want clout.
You like
You
cloud.
want to feel better about yourself. Fine. Let's name all. Let's name even the underlying. You need to be loved by other people. Whatever. Why would you not bring the probably the most famous one of the most famous powerlifters on earth to your event? This has to
Yeah.
be an IPF thing. I've heard the IPF are really involved in the wild cards. That would be two American men. I just think that's the
Well, then maybe other countries should just be better. That's their problem. So
that's not how it works. Come on.
don't be so weak. That's whatever.
Yeah, that's not how it works. The IPF has a huge role. They need to make it fair. There's already a lot of Americans if you haven't counted them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go to the roster, one country. 8, 8. Sorry, he's got a black signal on.
We got
Yeah.
9 counting the wild cards. Yeah, it's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. I don't know. I don't want to count anymore.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't. I, I, I try to think. I don't think as I don't think. Okay, reserves. So this guy brought up the reserves.
Mhm.
The reserves is different. Okay, the reserves. They're trying to save money. They invited people from Britain, right? No, like, fine. Like, I don't. It's last minute. No big deal. Like, you want to bring like. I'm a business person. I'm trying to cut corners and save money. Like, fine. That's not a big deal. What is why are you spending all this money on this event if you're not going to invite the person who made this event? Jesus made the event. This event would not, no one would care about this event if he didn't have the greatest powerlifting performance of all time in 2023. Like, this would have flopped. Like, no one would have like this would not have ascended to the level it was. I think I frankly really fucking disrespectful now that you think about it to not have brought him. So I can't really imagine it was SBD's choice. I can't. I just don't think. I don't think they invested all this into that. I think Russ was the clear. Like, you had to invite Russ for Instagram for all these reasons. You had to invite Russ. You needed Russ. Russ is huge. Russ is a huge value add. He's got 500,000 fucking followers. Like, huge value add. You got to have Russ. But yeah, it's disappointing. Agatha for political reasons. I heard they said SPD was trying to get her here. Try. You didn't really try. If I wanted to try, and I'm a bit of a shit starter, we're dropping the IPF affiliation for this event if we can't bring her. We're dropping our sponsorship contract if you don't reinstate her. Like, that's using your weight as a sponsor. How many times do sponsors drop out of things because of a political issue or an issue here and there? Like, sponsors threaten to quit over stuff all the time. Like, I don't. There are people who are like defending like SPD not doing anything. I'm like, if SPD wanted that done, they could threaten to not renew their. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they have less power than I think. Maybe the money's not there. Like, who knows? I guess there is. So I guess from what we know, other sponsors want to get involved too. So they really don't. They have some power, but not as much as you would think. Yeah, I guess is good.
So who's your money? I need an answer. It's 30 money now. Bet NGM. Who are you putting your money on?
On for this? Oh, I mean, so the problem is I would bet McNaughton. Okay, so
Okay, there we go.
hypothetically,
There you go.
I would bet McNaughton. Not like okay, if there were odds. So like if you were doing odds on this, I mean,
Mhm.
Perks minus 100, minus 150, something like that. McNaughton's like plus 250. I think you get good value there at with McDoublethink. I think so there. I think Tiff is a slight favorite. Like Tiff is like minus 105. Heather's like plus 110, plus 125. Like on the women's side, if I had to handicap either of those, so I always like taking the plus money, but I mean I'd probably end up taking Tiff there, um, if I'm gambling. Um, and then like give me free money, give me Russ to break the squat world record. Like that's gonna be like minus 275.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like give me that. Um, what else would I want to put money on? So needed to break the squat world records probably like plus
Um,
250. So that's longer odds there, but like I would take that. Um, ooh, like refereeing's gonna be weird. They're gonna try and enforce that bench rule. Watch for
You
that.
think so?
Yeah, because it's already in the rules. They're just clarifying it.
Okay.
So people are gonna be like, people haven't even been talking about this. That's so gonna happen. Oh, they think they're
That's
fine.
gonna
Oh my gosh,
that's
no,
more.
this is gonna be a disaster because people are gonna be like, the rules weren't in effect yet, and someone's gonna be like, that was just a clarification of the existing rule. Oh my god, this is gonna be a nightmare.
No, this could be great. This
Oh,
could be more. It's gonna be
uh,
no. We talked about it. It's more. It's hey man. It's more attention. It's more discussion.
I don't know. They do only bring the softer refs to this event. Like they don't bring like the crazy like Eastern European ones. I think on purpose. I think SPD is selective about who
Well,
they.
Mike Zawolinsky will be one of the judges.
He's actually refing, or he usually does the score table.
He's refing.
I'm surprised. Oh
I
really? I'm
believe
surprised.
he's refing. I believe he's
No,
refing.
he always does. I think he always works the table because you always see him behind the scenes. You need someone who's like who knows what they're doing to work that table. I don't think they need him reffing. They need him on the table.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they let him in the building. Uh,
Why? Whoa! Why is that?
I don't know. Nothing. Actually, that's a quote from him. That's a quote from him.
Okay, fair.
No one's the fucking the ten goomers who are going to listen to this after. We won't clip that. Well, actually, we are going to get more clips from this one. I have been told by Mr. Brendan, our producer.
Oh, there we go. Very good.
Yeah, but no, I got producer. What about you? What are you? Who you like?
Heather for the overall. I got to go with Perkins for the overall on the men's side. You know,
Rock flag eagle there.
no, I know, right? And then, yeah, I think like dude, Russ's squad has been looking super strong. So, squat world
Give
record
me a
from him.
prop.
So
Give me a prop.
give you a prop. I want something. Something speaking to me about Krostev. I don't know why.
Oh no, he benched 550. He benched 550 in training.
Yeah, no. So something's he's gonna. Yeah, bench world
Oh, I
record for
would bet
Krostev. I don't know. Yeah.
over under 5.5 hours total time.
Oh, good question. Oh,
I think
let's
they're
say
gonna.
I say under. I say
Yeah, I
under.
think they're gonna
I'm
do
gonna take the
better.
under.
I think they're gonna do better. Um,
I think you're gonna do better. It might help that. I mean, shit. There's no real big super heavyweights here, and like that cuts
yeah,
down on the
no
time.
Jesus, right?
Yeah, there's not like a lot of these obviously big weights, but you're not. It won't require as much of a turnaround. Yeah, I'm taking the under on that.
Yeah, I think so too. I maybe 5 hours was a better.
Let's do. Give me a number over under on viewership.
Ooh, that's it. I think Russ is there, which helps, but he's not. He's so bad. at promoting the sport. He is horrific. He is just the fucking worst. And people are like, what do you mean? He posts about powerlifting. Brother,
That's different.
you
That's
need
different.
that's different. You need to like. He's like, I love all the people who get me into powerlifting. Um, like who get into powerlifting because of me, and it's like that's great. I'm talking about like people to watch. Like these people don't want to watch you. Like you need to like promote the event. Like get the time and date of the event and talk about the time and date of the event. He's on this podcast I watch because there are actually some really good entrepreneurs on this podcast, and they're like friends with him. And he's never talked about it once. And I'm like, find a way to like. I don't think he gets a lot from the sport, which is like kind of sad actually. I don't think he gets a lot from the sport, so I don't feel like he needs to give a ton back. I don't feel that way.
Mm.
The sport has utterly failed him for. He's been in the sport since 29. Like he won his first world title in 2019. He's been failed. Like the fact that we haven't been able to put him on a poster, is been really sad. Because he's a very marketable athlete. He could be very marketable. Um, Yeah, him and Jesus will go down in history as the most famous powerlifters who never were. They'll be like people you talk about, like your parents talk about, that never got to because the platform didn't get there. The platform he could have been specifically Jesus could have been the Caitlin Clark of powerlifting. Like when he did that performance in 2023, he didn't compete again seriously for a year and a half because there was no opportunities. There's no platform to put this athlete on. You can have the best athlete in the world, and if you don't have a platform to put them on, you don't see them frequently. You're not gonna. It won't matter. Don't matter.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's digress. Give me viewership number. Over under. What do you think?
Oh yeah, back to the topic.
Because what was it? What was it last year?
I had these. No. Okay, so we gotta. Well, here I have the numbers. The number that matters. So how views are measured is average viewers. So every minute, if there's 100 viewers and then there's 200 viewers the next minute, they add that together over the 2 minutes. And the average number of viewers per minute is what they do. So that's 150 viewers. The average number of viewers was about 34,000. Oh, I wonder if I can get in and out. All right. I just emailed myself the stats. Let me pull it up. All right. So, okay, here. It's peak viewers, average viewers, total views, average duration of view. All these stats, except for total views, is actually the only stat that doesn't matter because how they measure total views is someone watches for at least 30 seconds and then comes back in. And so if the event is longer or shorter or for whatever reason, or people are in and out more, that number is going to go up. The more people who are watching, the more total. So it's not the worst stat, but it's not a great. It's a stat just to make people feel like it's more important than it is. You see a million views on something, you're like, oh my gosh, a million people are watching that, and that's not the case. But it's just a way to spin stuff, I think. Okay, so peak viewers. This is an important one too. This is the most people watching at one time. Peak viewers in 2023 was 17,000. Peak viewers in 2024 was 28,000. Peak views in 2025 was 38,000. So you had about a 33% jump in peak viewership from 2024 to 2025. Peak viewership, does that go up? I'm inclined to say yes, because last year Sheffield was the same weekend of the AFC Championship game, and I think a lot of attention gets dispersed because of that. I'm inclined to say it goes up, but I just don't think. I don't think. I think people watch Sheffield to see how it's going to progress the sport, because they've been told that this is what's going to move the sport forward through a different, they've been told that this is going to be the thing. So I think they're watching to hope something like the Jesus thing happens that will pull the sport forward. The problem is that can only happen with that guy. If someone underneath them does that, it doesn't have the same effect because it's not a super heavyweight. So, like, what you would need is you might need somewhat of a battle. Sheffield has yet to have a real battle, a real back and forth. Like, I'm trying to think, like, where it came down to the last poll.
Not that I can remember. No,
Never.
not quite like that. No.
Never. So yeah, I mean, and that's hard to that it's a hard effect to achieve. That's a hard thing to line up. The only way you can line it up more is maybe having less competitors. Um, but yeah. Okay, let's go to the stat that matters. Average viewers. This is like every minute, how many people are watching. This is the stat that this is the same. So when you see 25 million people watched the AFC Championship game, this is the stat they use. They don't. It's not total views. Total views would be like significantly billion million. I don't know. Average views 11,000 in 2023, 23,000. So about doubled from 2023 to 2024, obviously from first to next year. And then it went up about 30% from 2020. So I guess you could log this, I guess, now. 23,000 to 30,000. So, okay, so it went up, it about doubled, and then it went up about 33%. So it went up about 100, then it went up 30%. So 15% is like, I think would be like you could just do a logarithm. I don't think there's nothing really more watchable about this one. So I think 15% increase is probably practical. That's what I would expect. So yeah, so 15% of that would be 1,500.
Would you say 2025 was 30,000?
35, I think 35,000 average viewers is what I
35,000.
would.
That's the average. Okay.
No. The average is 30,000. So it went from 11 to
Average is 30.
23
Okay.
to 30. And so I think that goes up to 35,000, about 15% increase. It's a
Little
practical.
under, little under that. So what? So let's just say.
Dude, let me email this to you.
So let's say this. Let's make the number 34,000 for this year.
Yeah,
You take the over. You take the over. You
under
take the
35,000. Under 35,000. Is it WR coin at
Gmail? You got it
All
somewhere.
right, I just leaked your email address. Send Bill your hate mail. This podcast is going to get really popular, and then someone's going to come back to this.
Do.
Oh no, so like we had like these clips would get like crazy views when we got the right topic. Like the one should it move to Austin got like 20,000 views. Hundreds of people were listening at one point, so we'll get back there. We just gotta be more consistent. All right, I forwarded it.
Got it. All right, let's take a look here. Nice little bar graph there. Okay. Average viewers.
Here,
that's what's that?
You break that down over a second.
Okay. All right, we're gonna give Sebastian a break here. Maybe to put this in kind of a greater context, this is going to be very telling because Sebastian's talked about over the past couple of. There's been a little bit of a decline in the overall participation numbers of powerlifting. I think it'll be really telling where the sport really is if there is a growth in the viewership numbers here, because I think that would be a sign that there's greater interest. There are other signs, just show that it's not just falling off. And again, it might be I think this is part of the challenge of an individual based sport, like we talked about. There's only you have individuals and waves really that come and go. I'm gonna go. So yeah, I think they can do. I'm gonna take I'm gonna take the white pill on this. I say they get 35K average viewers.
You're saying what I'm saying.
I thought you went under. You
Yeah,
said you said
they're
it was
gonna
gonna
be
be less than that.
right under 35K average viewers.
Right under. I'll just say a little bit over that.
Yeah, I
Let's
want to
let's say
know.
let's say if I have to make a prediction, if I got to put a number out there, let's say 36.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the analogy I made earlier, where it's like I have one member of my gym, right, and then I add 5 members of my gym, and I got a 500% increase.
It's not nothing. It's not nothing.
It's like I don't want to say that it's an insignificant amount of views, but it's just powerlifters watching powerlifting. And like, I'm not going to discount the fact that you should, like, all good businesses start in a niche, right? Like your business starts inside of a niche. Like, so you start with like your most rabid customers and you want to cater to those first. This is a once a year event. Oh wow, there's nothing else for powerlifters to watch. So everyone's tuning into this one event.
Hmm.
Great.
So then here,
Like,
so
like what are we talking about?
so then a follow up to that. What is the number that this needs to hit to count as say major? Right? Where
I
at what
think
point do
so.
serious sponsors want to get involved?
So I think the number is actually okay. You just need to have 20 of these events every year, and then you can move from here. I mean, you can't, like, it's one event. That's like I'm more likely. I mean, you do get good average. You get a good average length of view time, like, which is good. But like that's worth about, I think, what did I do the math? Like, it's worth almost nothing. Like, because it's not the reason people like big national advertisers like big national stuff is because it it casts a really wide net. You're not even casting the wide net they're looking for. I mean, people are going to spend their money on Instagram ads. Like, I just don't. Yeah, I can't find the. Okay, so your question was, what number does it have to get to be mainstream? I don't think, again, my answer to that question is it doesn't matter because you can't just have one event. Like, is this like, what is the Kentucky Derby? The Kentucky Derby is the only one that's like
Sure.
a one trick. So I'm gonna give you Kentucky Derby viewership, and then I'm gonna give you the prize pool. So the Kentucky Derby draws a massive audience, averaging 17.7 million views. Now that's on, mind you, that's on NBC. So people who just like have NBC on are gonna get
Mhm.
the Kentucky Derby. Um, okay, 17.7 million. Um, let me give the UFC for context. Um, we have good data on the UFC now because the Paramount thing.
Mhm.
That averaged 5 million. That's probably,
Good.
and that's generating. I mean, you got to do some math there, but that's generating some money there. Let me look at the Kentucky Derby prize pool. But they have a huge crowd,
You know,
like one of the biggest in sports.
what
No, the
about
Kentucky. Hold on. The Kentucky Derby,
yeah,
which gets 17 million views, only has a $5 million purse.
interesting? That's
So
smaller than I had thought it would be.
yes, that's smaller than I thought. I thought it would be
Yeah.
like 25, 30 million.
So hold on. Here's maybe just because I'm wondering. So obviously it's part of a bigger. This is interesting because this is something which is similar. Because I mean the Kentucky Derby is not the only thing that the horses do, but that's the only one that people really care about. What's what about the Indianapolis 500?
Uh, that's another good one. That viewership is way bigger. 20 million, so still not crazy.
What's the
Uh,
purse for that?
it's 20 million. Sorry. The purse is
Oh
20
wow.
million. Let me look at
Okay,
let me
purse
look
is
at the
20
viewership.
million. Okay.
But that is the largest crowd in sports.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah. Yeah.
300,000 people.
That's
300,000 people are there.
at
The
once. Yeah. Yeah.
viewership is worse. Okay, so hold on, but it's a much longer event than the Kentucky Derby. 7
Yes.
million average
Yeah.
viewers.
hmm Yeah, because you're kind of in for a full day if you're watching that.
Days if you go to it. I gotta go.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
almost I
All right.
almost went last year. Stupid. Should have gone. Continue.
All right. Enough about that.
Yeah.
Why
Okay,
don't we ask?
so you want to do you want to do like a fucking algebra here and figure out, they're averaging 7 million views and the prize pool is, but the prize pool is not like indicative of like what the revenue is. But okay, so like 7 million views and they're doing 20 million in prize money. Like they're over the prize pool is way bigger in powerlifting per view. It's way bigger. Good for them. Well, no, that's what I mean. I've always made the argument that Sheffield overinflates athletes' perceived value of themselves, which in turn prevents someone like me. And I'm gonna call boohoo on myself. I'm gonna
Mhm.
feel bad about myself. I can't run like a high level pro event because athletes think they're more valuable than the market actually. Like it artificially inflates the market, which I guess makes it the market. But athletes think they're more valuable than they are, and then no one else can run any sort of competing event, and so the sport just stays in the same mud it's been in. It's like, yeah, I don't. So back to your original question was, what number does it have to get to be like sort of mainstream? Over a million average viewers. So it's got to. Um, do you just got to get people? I'm curious what the that data is available on YouTube. I'm curious why that wasn't in here. But like, how many unique viewers? Because then you could just say, oh, I just need to retain these viewers better.
hmm hmm
That's so interesting. I wonder if there's a reverse extrapolation. If you're getting this many total views, how many unique views are you likely to have? Yeah, this is very interesting. I Yeah, so yeah, in the millions, I think is. If you could somehow, again, but where? Hold on, you go from 11,000 average viewers to 23,000 average viewers to 30,000 average viewers. Where are you finding that jump? Like, where are those people
Yep.
coming from? Like, where? Like they're not coming out of the woodwork to watch this thing. Like, what you need is you need more of these events. That's what you need. You need more of these events.
Yep.
Because let's say they're making like 20 million there. They're making like, so that's about 2.5 times the viewership. So let's say they're making 2.5 times the viewership. Let's say they're making um 60 75 grand. So they're making 75 grand per stream. If you do 10 streams, that's 750,000. You've now tripled the total prize fund. Like, you just need to find a way to do more of these events.
hmm
More of these events gives you more opportunities to improve. That's why I developed the series, because I knew we needed more events. We need more content. Dana White, for the longest time, was talking about how the UFC didn't have enough content, and people were like, "The UFC doesn't have enough content." They're like, he knows the inside of the business. He knows they need more content. The more times you get in people's face with stuff, the more likely they are to buy something. Like, if you go to Sheffield every month, like, and you can't do that for financial reasons, but if you cut the prize pool, if you divided that prize pool into much smaller events, ran more of those events in different locations, over time you would develop a bigger, better business. It's just, yeah, it's And that's what's coming. That will be the future of the sport. Like I'm still
If it
certain.
wants to grow, that's where it's gonna have to go. You know. So
It's going to grow whether it likes it or not. I'm on year 2 of this thing. I'm on year 6 of my gym. It don't stop. You were at the first one, and you were at the new one. There's a big leap there. I don't fuck around. My prize pools don't stay the same. Like this doesn't. The prize pool for the first pro duel was $3,000. This year it's $50,000. Next year it's going to be over 100, and that's self funded. Once I start getting outside shit, you gotta strap the fuck in. It's gonna grow whether it likes it or not, because the rules of business don't become suspended just because it's powerlifting. Like, if you have a good product that people want and people like and people are gonna watch, people are gonna spend money, and then it's just a matter of making the money bigger, right? Bigger sponsors, right? Move from, you know, out from under the Gymsharks and the Avenkus and the whatever into the IBM and the Eli Lilly and the like you're there's not a huge margin between getting into those bigger companies. You're talking about Core Power, that's Coca-Cola. Like, you've got there is a there is a other side. There is an other side. There is a way to improve this stuff, but it's not. This ain't it. I mean,
well, on that note, should we talk about what Reddit thinks about powerlifting?
thanks, co-host. Yeah, absolutely. Are we talking about quality reps? Which one did you want to do? You want to do the wedding one?
I've got one. No, I want to no, because this is of course this is
No, but
like a nostalgic thing for me.
sorry. Should we wrap? Let's wrap Sheffield, and then because then we can keep the segment whatever the fuck we want if it's ours.
There we go. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So wrapping up Sheffield, I think I'm gonna be watching. You're gonna be watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we watch.
I gotta watch the replay because I'm judging him meet in the morning, but I'll watch the recording for sure.
Well, it's so long, you may like.
That's basically what I've done with a lot of playoff football. It's like, oh, there's 2 minutes left. Let me watch this now.
Yes. Yeah. So, I'll be interested to watch, see if they do anything unique. I was there last year, so I'm actually happy to be able to watch it live, on TV. It's much better. It's much better on TV than it is in person. So I'm excited for that.
Such cases.
What is it?
Many such cases.
Yeah. No. It's actually interesting that it's like that. It's actually, I would say it's probably the only, aside from like maybe some worlds and some nats, it's probably the only watchable powerlifting thing. So it'll be nice to be able to watch it. And then Sheffield this weekend we'll be watching. We're looking for Austin Perkins and Heather to win, Team USA, and then for it to be under 5.5 hours long. About a 24 lifter meet for context should take about 3.5 hours, and they just stretch that thing like some dough. Yeah. It has to be, the spotters go slow, and then the walkouts take forever, and it makes the event so long.
And that's intentional. That's intentional. Yeah, it's all part of the production.
It's not good. I guess if you're doing one event a year,
I'm just saying it's intentional.
Yeah, you got one event a year. I guess you could milk it. It's like the Super Bowl, but even the Super Bowl is only 4.5 hours. But yeah, we watch it, keep it tuned, and then I'm really interested to see what the aftermath. I'm interested to see what it looks like in the bigger venue. I'm sure they're going to preview the bigger venue. I'm interested to see if they improve the broadcast. The broadcast has always been a little rudimentary to me. Why they don't hire a professional crew to do the thing? You're spending all this money. You might as well hire someone who does sports broadcasting. They buy their own hardware and stuff too. It's crazy. But yeah. Anyway, I think we'll transition to our next topic. The r/powerlifting.
Powerlifting. We need a soundboard. We need to work on
No,
that.
for sure.
Anyways.
That software I was trying that wasn't working.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
I
That would have
think
had one.
Zoom. I spent about an hour before here looking at Zoom. I think Zoom has enough tools because I wanted to look like Pat McAfee show. Like I want to be able to stand and yell, and I
Yeah.
want to be able to like if we want to show a clip, like I want to be able to play the clip. Like there's like
Yeah.
okay.
I'm with you. I'm with you. All right, I gotta go. So best of the week. What does Reddit think of powerlifting? This one jumped out at me because we talked about another one that maybe would have been perhaps a little more controversial. It started a rivalry with another big name, not in the IPF, but within powerlifting. Won't say it on air, but the elite F, the one about the old elite FTS YouTube channel, because there is now the current one where they post all the table talks and all the other stuff. But man, this when I was growing up, when I first got into powerlifting, dude, the Elite FTS, which is now the Elite FTS Archives channel, is the greatest lifting YouTube channel on the whole
I'm
platform.
looking at this.
It is incredible. Like some great videos that they put together. This is when they were still sponsoring athletes, so they would do these things where they would bring in their sponsored athletes a few times over the years, and they called it each year called underground strength sessions. It was basically just like, we're gonna have all you guys like max out on a bunch of stuff, in full gear, squat, bench press, deadlift, and those compilation videos were amazing, absolutely amazing.
God, I wish I was still into it. I'm just not. This is like making me like want to like watch and like learn all this stuff, and I just feel like I'm so out of it now. But
It's
someone's got
so
to be on the other side.
absolutely, but good stuff. Great informational videos too. Great like exercise tutorials. It's there's
This
oh
is
my god,
so this is so ghetto. Oh my gosh.
the Wendler Vision videos are incredible as well. And for all the kids who don't know who Jim Wendler is, you got to spend some time watching Jim Wendler videos.
Yeah, they have clips, training with foam rollers, the training videos, hip mobility, TRX overhead squats. Oh, they've got this is like all these are clips. Balancing life, training alone, build from the mill, from the step mill. Oh, that's Tate. Tate on the
From
step
the Mill
mill.
was great. Yeah.
He was like he's the original. Yeah, you saw me comment on that clip where he's like, yeah, I just again I think when people talk about how powerlifting has grown, it just does it a disservice. I think rather than talking about it's grown, how about we talk about how we can grow it? Like, can we not just pretend like it's growing and just talk about how we can grow it from where it is where it is no matter what. How do we move it to the next level? And we talked about all the different ways we could do it, and like Elite FTS did some good, some some too much in some areas. Probably too much of the dark side of powerlifting. Your side.
It was my side.
Yeah.
Not
And like
anymore.
now what's the new one? The new one's all his table talks. I gotta get on table talk. God, I would pick God. He'd get some views, bro. He'd get some they'd be like,
That would
what?
be
Those
interesting.
clips would be fucking unreal.
So now, okay, now we got to go to you. What's your best thread from of this week from r/powerlifting?
I am not gonna throw the um I like the Dexcom one. Like
Yes.
someone just going. I didn't even actually read it. I'm gonna read it live. But like it's someone was asking. Okay, it's just so funny because you know. Okay, my son has type 1 diabetes. He has been enjoying lifting together. Hooray! And has decided he wanted a lifting belt. He went ahead and ordered an SPD belt, tried to talk him into going with something cheaper, especially as it's his first belt. But he had the money and it's what he wanted. Okay, good for business. SPD needs it. Good for business. That leads to my question. He wears a CGM on his belly and prefers to wear them on the back of his arm. Anyone out there have any experience wearing a belt with a CGM on the belly? Okay, of all the places to ask for what basically amounts to medical advice, this parent straight to Reddit. As you should, right? As you should. You're not gonna fuck this. He might as well have asked about vaccines while he was here. Like, like I'm thinking it may cause pressure lows, at worst break his CGM. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not gonna respond to this because this is basically a medical question. Like,
Go ask a doctor. What do you think?
Let's read the question. Let's get the top response. Oh, great. Dexcom's hate compression. Get him to put it on his tricep.
Why is he self-conscious about wearing it? Like I've seen and worked with plenty of people that wear
he can't
the
wear it.
CGM.
No, he's trying to wear it with the belt, and he wears it on his belly.
No, that's what I'm wondering. The placement of the CGM is weird. Also, like that seems like an odd place.
I don't even. I'll be honest. I don't quite know what. I assume it's a blood sugar monitor. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, it's GM. It's glucose monitor is what it is. Yeah, continuous glucose monitor. So it's that's a weird place. That seems like a weird place for it to begin with. Is he? Yeah, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot to unpack here, but this is
And you wanted to talk about programming.
I didn't want to talk about programming. Where did I say I want to talk about programming?
Oh, do you want to talk about something actually like powerlifting? Okay, seamless glucose. Okay, I'm looking at pictures of this.
Yeah, you've seen this thing before. It's just like the little white.
It looks like it's on your tricep. Everyone's got it on their tricep.
That's where I always see it, on their tricep or on their shoulder. So that's what I mean. It's like
this guy created a problem and is looking for a solution to another problem created by the problem.
Yes. Yeah. So, interesting.
This is what I wanted when I brought up this segment, and then
exactly. No.
I wanted someone asking. No, what was the other one that was great? Oh, there was another one we did, and it was like. It was someone asking about a birthday present for a powerlifter. I gotta find it, but like the best one. Week? No. This was the last r/powerlifting we did like a year ago. It was like
okay.
Yeah. Oh. Well, let me see if we can find anything else that's in the same vein. Okay. Quality reps or intensity? Both. Do both. Yeah. You can do both. That's not against the rules. Yeah. At the end, they won't be so quality, but like, come on. There's got to be another one that's just as good as that.
Well, I mean, if you can't hold your technique together at intensity, then the intensity is probably too high for your training. So fix that.
Is stiff sleeve still banned? No, not until the end of 2026. We're going to get that one a lot. We're not going to talk about Matt Wenning.
Do we want to talk about Matt Wenning? We can talk about Matt.
Wenning. I don't know. He's 5'3", right? He's 5'3" or?
Nope. No. No. Swing and a miss. That was Wendler. That's Jim Wendler.
Oh, okay.
Two very different people. Okay. No. So Wenning was, like.
Yeah.
So much like what's that?
Educate me.
Okay, so much like in powerlifting itself, like Westside has gone through a handful of different like waves and crews that were there at different times. So Wenning was it was not at the very end, but he was part of what was maybe like the strongest overall crew that they had when Hoff was young, Dave Hoff was young and up and coming. Roberts was at his peak. Greg Panora was there doing his thing when he was at his peak. Luke Edwards was there. It's just not a lot of really, really super, super strong multiply guys. And Matt came in with like a little bit like he was in the industry. That's the big thing with a lot of like the West Side guys, especially prior to like the 20 teens, is most of those guys were not like strength coaches or like even within the industry. They were just they were guys that lifted and then they worked like factory jobs, or like a lot of them were prison guards and things like that. Yeah. So they had they weren't reading a lot of all the old Soviet stuff or any kind of research or anything like that. So Matt was a little unique in that he came in with an academic background from Ball State, already pretty strong. He'd lifted his whole life, but he kind of came in with, once he got in the West Side, he kind of had some of his own ideas about what to do there, which you don't do it. You didn't do it West Side because it was like Louis. Like
Yeah, it's a
the only way
Colts.
that would work is if it's Louis. It's all Louis. The only way that would work is if somehow like Louis came to is sort of thought like, oh, this was his original idea, and then he maybe implement it, but he would change his mind maybe like the next day anyway. But anyway, so Matt had a lot of his own kind of ideas, but like, well, shit, he left West Side slash kind of got voted out at one point, went over to Lexington, brought a couple of guys with him, and kept getting stronger. And then not only did he hit some huge numbers and multiply, he went raw and hit some ridiculous numbers raw too. Like 600 plus, 600 raw bench, regardless of what body weight you're at or whether you're on something or not. Like a 600 raw bench after squatting like 8 or 9 raw is insane. Super impressive. Um, he did have a little bit of a moment to where I don't know the full situation. There was something sketchy about the PhD that he got in sports science or sports physiology. Something about like it was he did it online, right? And it was it's anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think something this will maybe this isn't powerlifting related, but it's kind of like the Mike Israetel thing, where just like
Yeah.
what this what this really illuminates is not the real problem is not this particular dissertation. The real issue is just like it looks like American sports science as a whole is just a rich field. But anyway, so that it was kind of more of I think an indictment of the broader industry. But he's a pretty outspoken guy. He's, as far as I know, people that have interacted with him, he's been super nice to everybody, very generous. I know a guy that I trained with at B&W in Chicago that he was in a business trip in Columbus and was close by Matt Wenning's gym, asked if he could train there. And when he even said like, oh, do you have like a car? Do you have a, like, how are you going to get here? He's just like, oh no, because I'm on a business trip. He's like, oh, hey, let me come pick you up and like give you a ride back and forth from the hotel, which he did.
Nice.
Which is like, so that's super cool, right? So again, like, so he says a lot of stuff, but like also the guy's paid his dues in the sport in different places too, not just in one division. Um, he's a super sharp guy. He's been very successful business wise. He does a lot of work with. Um, I know he's done some work with the military and on the strength and conditioning side. Done well there. Works with a lot of first responders. So like his opinions, what that's maybe that's may not be too foreign to you, Sebastian, to where like you're somebody that's a little opinionated and has some hot takes on things. Some people aren't going to like that.
Yeah, I mean, I lean into it, of course, but like, interesting. Well, this is interesting. He sucks because he wants to monetize every single piece of training information he has.
Okay, yeah, what's wrong with that? Yeah, he's created like he created his own version of the belt squad. He's got a couple other pieces of equipment that he sells, and like I think he's still.
I think I have that belt squad.
Yeah, the winning belt squad. He probably the Ludus Magnus. I don't know what name he sells it under. It's a good belt squad. It's a little simpler it's less expensive than like the West Side one. And I think he's got a Patreon too. It's like again, like, guy whose life it is, really something to show for. It's like, yeah, maybe he should be able. Maybe you should pay him for some training information, and he still puts out a lot of free stuff.
I have
too.
the Good Morning machine.
Oh yeah, that's a sick one.
I have the Good Morning.
Yeah. So there you go. So there's I don't.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have the belt squat. That's the worst belt squat. That one I see. That's the worst. But the Good Morning machine is nice. The box squat with the belt squat. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So that's more in the history book. God, there's got to be. Is there like an encyclopedia of strength, like the bodybuilding one?
No. There's nothing really. I mean, you could maybe go through and look at. There's a handful of books out there, but there's nothing really on powerlifting itself, which is I think why I've had this in the back of my mind forever.
Jim's the body.
To just do a video on this. Oh God. But yeah, that's nothing really close to that.
Yeah, that
I'm reading like I'm reading right now, like this is it's kind of cool, but it's not. Like there's handfuls of video or not video, most videos too, but a lot of books, even like really academic ones that are just essentially published dissertations on the history of like physical culture, on strength training. I'm reading one that's I forget the name of the author, but it was published by the University of Texas, which has a great like history of physical culture.
Yes, they have a whole department,
Like
don't they?
everything they got a whole department, the Stark Center, this Lucha Stark Center, which was founded by Terry Todd and his wife Jan Todd. So I'm reading a book published by them on the history of strength and conditioning and that whole field, but that's still
Louis
not
Simmons book
powerlifting though.
bundle.
You have Louis Simmons. If reading Louis is like reading Faulkner. It is just one big stream of consciousness, which is something to be said for that. But you gotta know what you're in for. This is a great Wendler thing. Like Wendler said a joke about like Louis wrote the same article 10,000 times. It's
Oh.
just the same thing over and over, which is like there's you gotta read kind of read between the lines and see what he's saying. But uh, I don't want to keep us on here for too much longer. We got into our powerlifting. I also have to. I don't know if you saw this, but of course, on my side in the equipped powerlifting world, we now have two 500 kilo. We now have two 500 kilo
Oh yeah,
squatters in the
we should
IPF.
talk about this because this is the first good thing that's happened to Equip since the Vanilla Gorilla.
I get
There hasn't been since
what?
Blaine. There
Ian
has
Bell,
not been
Ian
one.
Bell, Ian Bell, Ian Bell.
No,
Absolutely. Oh yes,
no,
absolutely.
not that somewhat, not that like piqued my interest. Nothing since the Vanilla Gorilla. Like this piqued when I saw this. I was like, wow, like that's something. Like,
Fucking
can we get him out of the suit and give Jesus some competition? That's all that's ever seen. Did this get a Reddit
possibly.
post?
No, no, not that I saw. No, which is
Let's make
unfortunate.
one.
Which yeah, there you go. But yeah, so second 500 kilo squat, and the kid's only 23, and he's got good genes for it too. His dad I think his dad might have won an IPF world championship. If he didn't win a world championship, he was at that level. But it's not just the squat. I mean, he's got a pretty good bench 771, deadlifted 821 for 2695 total, which is I think that's somewhere in the top five for the IPF. He's still got a ways to go to catch Blaine.
Oh, that may never. There may never be enough people who get into equip lifting in terms of the total population to be able to break that. There won't be enough. There won't be enough kids that get into equipped to ever catch that.
We'll see. We'll see.
I mean,
We'll see.
unless it's him. I mean, I think it's just like what's interesting is colleges
Well,
will almost always have equipped teams because they get extra scholarships the more slots they have. So they'll have equipped and raw.
here's the other thing. I mean, you have talent coming out of the Scandinavian countries because before Blaine, it was Carl Christensen out of Norway, who had a very short but extremely successful career. And then if the Russians, whenever they get reinstated into the IPF, they could pull some giant Russian, out of Siberia and get them to total 2,900 somewhere down the road.
Interesting. Agata, I like how so I switched the filter to equipped, and I'm like, Agata's still up here. The filter didn't catch, and then it turns out that no, that she's the best equipped as well. Um, yeah, Yulia Zagulov. Now I'm learning about equipped, which is just a gross place to be. Um, but let's go to men. The best equipped performance of all time by GL took place in 2022. Konstantin Muskino. Oh, he's got an IG.
What are you looking at? Are you an open powerlifting?
I'm an open power actually. Yeah, I'm in the equipped section, which is like the restricted area. Oh, he was at the World Games. He had what weight class is he in? 93. He had a 1064 total in 93. So yeah, I mean that at least has enough of a spread between the raw guys. Like that's actually. I mean, this like Perk may beat the equipped total. At 74. Sergey is the best raw, so that's not going to change. You got Blaine. That'll never be beaten ever. You're never going to get a 1,300 pound. Gel did 900 at 74 equipped, 2019. Vladimir Rasiev, 4 all time from Ukraine, 43. So I mean, is there like a longevity play in there? I mean, you got some people in there.
Oh, enormous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's part of the point of the equipment. Like that's why Blaine went back and forth between raw and equipped for the first half of his career just because he could, and then he tore both of the labrums in his hips and he couldn't squat heavy without the support of the gear anymore. So he just couldn't do it. So that's always something which is going to be interesting too. Part of it is in raw lifting. There's far more incentives financially to compete in raw lifting. Like there's none in equipped lifting anymore. Like the closest thing we had was the Cup of Titans. That was about it, but that's long gone. And now, so part of it's going to be interesting. Okay, as these guys, gals get a little bit older, you're gonna accumulate injury. Little things like that are going to happen, and it's going to be interesting to see. Okay, once you encounter an injury like that, in some cases, it's going to have to be like you're going to have to put something on. If you tear your pec in half, if you want to hit a big bench again, it probably behooves you to put a shirt on. If you tear your hip labels, it probably behooves you to put a suit on, right? So,
Yeah. Nope. Nah. Nah.
No. All right, fine. All right. On that note, Sebastian, any final words here for this week?
I don't. This is great. I like talking powerlifting once a week and getting some stuff out there. But yeah, I have nothing remaining. Um, excited for Sheffield. Excited to have something to watch in powerlifting. And then we're not far off from. I think we're gonna do this live at Nats. Hopefully, we'll get. I'm gonna rent the house, and then hopefully we can set it up. I kind of have this vision of like the cabin I can rent, and we can do shows. We can have different people. It'll be much easier for me to pick people off there. Be like, hey, come on the show, come back for the show, come back for it because the thing I'm looking at is right by the venue. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Listen for commands. I'm Sebastian.
I'm Bill Coyne.
And I'll see you next time.